In this video, we're going to take a look at some rules of verb patterns. Now, hopefully you have already completed the table activity that was before this video. So you'll be familiar with some of the traditional verbs that go together with to and infinitive, and some that go together with the gerund or verb and ing. In this video, we're going to take a look at some additional rules that can help students to understand when we use to and infinitive and when we use the gerund or verb and ing. So let's get started. Rule number one, synonyms usually take the same pattern. So for example, even though they're not direct synonyms, if we have want and would like, both of those would be followed by to and infinitive. I want to go there, I would like to go there. Another example from the table would be suggest and recommend. I suggest visiting York, so it's verb and ing, and I recommend visiting York. Again, it's that verb and ing. In a similar way, opposites usually take the same pattern as well. Now notice I'm using usually, and also notice that these are rules. They are not 100% reliable, but if you follow them, you'll be right more often than not. So, if we take a look at two from the table, we've got admit and we've got deny. Obviously, these two are opposite. I admit, I deny, and they are both followed by the gerund or by verb and ing if you prefer. So, the thief admitted stealing the car, the thief denied stealing the car. Okay, next one. This is a really important rule because there are very few exceptions to this rule. So, after a preposition or a phrasal verb, we use verb plus ing. So, if we look at a couple of quick examples, we can say, I am interested in, so there's my preposition, and then I am interested in skiing, for example. Okay, so you've got that verb and ing. With a phrasal verb, I have given up, let's put it in blue, I have given up smoking. So notice that we've got our phrasal verb followed by verb and ing. Our preposition followed by verb and ing. This is one rule that you really want to make sure the students are following particularly when they do pieces of writing. Okay, next one. After an adjective, we use to and infinitive. So that could be something simple as, I find it difficult So there's our adjective, and then we need to an infinitive. I find it difficult to understand Japanese, for example. Okay, I find it easy to do this. It is impossible to do this. After an adjective, we're using to and infinitive. Next one, as a subject, we use verb and ing. So, most of my students are obsessed with shopping, therefore I always use shopping for this example. So shopping is boring, in my opinion. My students usually get very angry at this sentence. Okay, so at the start of the sentence, when we're using it as a subject, we are using verb and ing. Okay, two to go. When we say why, we use to and infinitive. Now, I don't speak any other languages fluently, but I speak Spanish quite well. And for Spanish speakers, this one can be a little bit difficult because they always want to use for plus ing. In English, we use to and the infinitive. So, for example, I am going to Spain. Why am I going to Spain? I am going to Spain to visit my friends. And finally, we've got after a verb of opinion. Now, in the higher intermediate grammar go-getter, we're going to have a look at some verbs that take both patterns, to and infinitive and verb and ing. A couple of examples will be like and love. I like to play football. I like playing football. Both sentences are correct. However, usually with verbs of opinion, I tell students to remember to use ing, simply because it makes it easier. So, for example, we can say, I enjoy cooking. I can't stand playing tennis. I don't mind doing my homework. Okay, so after the verb of opinion, I generally follow it up with ing, even though you can, of course, use I like to cook, I love to cook, I like cooking, I love cooking. I always try and make grammar as easy as possible for my students by giving them sort of rules of thumb. One thing before I finish. This is more of a vocabulary point than necessarily a grammar point, verb patterns. And for this reason, it's important to mention to your students that native speakers do not make mistakes with this. Often I will talk in these videos about different mistakes that native speakers might make with certain aspects of grammar. However, in this case, we don't make mistakes with this. And if students make a mistake, then it's immediately apparent to us that they've made a mistake. So it's very, very much a key point that students need to learn and remember. That's it for this video. I will be back in the next module with another one. Take care.